I couldn't decide which book to read, so I'm reading a second one tonight too. Miss Rumphious. Stories and Pictures by Barbara Coney, Conney. You all should look to see if she's written any other books. I don't know that she's written any other books, but I love this one, and the pictures are beautiful. And guess what, Ewings? The Novacells have planted some lupines. And I saw the plants when I was there, and the leaves look just like that. So we're praying that they'll bloom. All right. Oh, I forgot this. There's a lot of words in it. I will definitely have to put my glasses on. Here, I'll show you the pictures. The lupine lady lives in a small house overlooking the sea. In between the rocks around her house grow blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. The lupine lady is little and old, but she's not always been that way. I know, she is my great aunt. That means she is the sister of the person telling the story, the sister of the grandmother. It's a little complicated. She is my great aunt, and she told me so. So here's a little house, and there's the sea. Once upon a time, she was a little girl named Alice who lived in the city by the sea. And from the front stoop, she could see the wharves and the bristling masts of the tall ships. Many years ago, her grandfather had come to America on a large sailing ship. So here she is. She's looking out her front porch, and what does she see? The boats with their masts and the blue ocean. And her grandfather, who had come to America. Now he worked in the shop at the bottom of the house, making figureheads for the prows of the ships. So the front of ships often have big sort of statue-like things, and he makes those. He would carve Indians out of wood to put in front of cigar stores. He would do other things. For Alice's grandfather was an artist. He painted pictures, too, of sailing ships and places across the sea. And when he was very busy, Alice helped him put in the skies. So can you see? Alice is putting in the skies there. She liked it. And then these are some of the statues that he made. Looks like he made an angel up there. Oh, and look here. Here's the Indian he made in front of the store. And here he is talking to Alice. Oh, and there's their kitty. And what's he say? In the evening, Alice sat on her grandfather's knee and listened to his stories of far-away places. When he had finished, Alice would say, "When I grow up, I too will go to faraway places, and when I grow old, I too will live by the sea." But her grandfather would say, "All of that is very well, little Alice, but there's a third thing you must do." "What is that?" Alice asked. "You must do something to make the world more beautiful," said her grandfather. All right, said Alice, but she did not know what that could be. In the meantime, Alice got up, washed her face, and ate porridge for breakfast. She went to school and came home and did her homework, and pretty soon she was growing up and grown up. Now my great aunt Alice, what is she doing? She's working in a library. My great aunt Alice set out to do the 3 things she had told her grandfather she was going to do. She left home and went to live in another city far away from the sea and the salt air. And there she worked in a library, dusting books and keeping them from getting mixed up and helping people find the books they wanted. Some of the books told her about faraway places. People called her Miss Rumphious now because she was grown. And there's her library. Oh, sometimes she went to the conservatory in the middle of the park. When she stepped inside on a wintry day, the warm, moist air wrapped itself around her and the sweet smell of jasmine filled her nose. "This is almost like a tropical island," said Miss Rumphius, "but not quite." So there's the conservatory. Can't remember if the Phoenix Zoo has something like this, but or the Phoenix Botanical Gardens, the St. Louis Botanical Gardens has a building like this with nice tropical plants like that that's really warm. And if you go in the winter, it's really warm. So in the winter, she'd go to the conservatory. Look, she's so dressed up to keep so warm. She liked that. So Miss Rumphius went to a real tropical island where people kept cockatoos and monkeys as pets. Look, there she is on the island, and they're the island people. She walked on long beaches picking up beautiful shells. One day she met the Baba Raja, king of a fishing village. "You must be tired," he said. "Come into my house and rest." So Miss Rumphius went in and met the Baba Raja's wife. The Baba Raja himself fetched a green coconut and cut a slice off the top so Mrs. Rumphius could drink the coconut water inside. They call it water. Before she left, the Baba Raja gave her a beautiful mother-of-pearl shell on which he had painted a bird of paradise and the words, "You will always remain in our heart." So she was a special person to these people. "You will always remain in mine, too," said Mrs. Rumphius. So she had gone to faraway places and had met some friends and had made a good impression. So she was, or maybe leaving the world a little more beautiful. My great aunt, Miss Alice Rumphius, climbed tall mountains where the snow never melted. Whoa, she was very brave, wasn't she? There she is waving up there at the top. She went through jungles and across deserts. She saw lions playing and kangaroos jumping. And everywhere she made friends she would never forget. And they probably never forget her, too. Finally, she came to the land of the lotus eaters. And there, getting off a camel, she hurt her back. There she is. She's getting off the camel. What a foolish thing to do. But sometimes things like that happen, said Miss Rumphius. Well, I have certainly seen faraway places. Maybe it's time for me to find my place by the sea. And it was, and so she did. Look what she found. I think probably most of you read this book before. From the porch of her new house, Miss Rumphius watched the sun come out. She watched it cross the heavens and sparkle on the water, and she saw it sit in its glory in the evening. She started a little garden among the rocks that surrounded her house, and she planted a few flower seeds in the stony ground. Mrs. Rumphius was almost perfectly happy. Almost, not quite. Wonder why? Has she done all three things? She was going to move away from the sea, which she did. She was going to go visit faraway places, which she did. But what was the third thing she was going to do? Her grandfather told her she needed to leave the world a more beautiful place. And sometimes you can just do that by being friends and making good memories. But I think she wanted to do something else. There is still one more thing I have to do, she said. I have to do something to make the world more beautiful. But what? The world is already pretty nice, she thought, looking out over the sea. The next spring, though, Miss Rumphius was not very well. Her back was bothering her again, and she had to stay in bed most of the time. You know how that's all about. The flowers she had planted the summer before had come out and bloomed in spite of the stony ground, and she could see them from her bedroom window, blue and purple and rose-colored. Lupines, said Miss Rumphius with satisfaction. I have always loved lupines the best. I wish I could plant more seeds this summer so that I could have still more flowers next year. But she was not able to do that, as she was in bed. And that looks like it's winter time now. But after a hard spring came, Miss Rumphious was feeling much better. Now she could take walks again. One afternoon, she started to go up and over the hill, where she had not been for a long time. I cannot believe my eyes, she cried when she got to the top. For there, on the other side of the hill, was a large patch of blue and purple and rose-colored lupines. It was the wind, she said in delight as she knelt down. It was the wind that brought the seeds from my garden here. And the birds helped too. So true. Then Miss Rumphious had a wonderful idea. So there, those beautiful flowers. Hopefully, the Novacels will send us some pictures of their blooms later on this summer. She hurried home and got out all her seed catalogs. She sent off to the very best seed house for five bushels of lupine seeds. That is a lot of seeds. All that summer, Mrs. Rumphious, her pockets full of seeds, wandered over fields and headlands and sowing lupines. She scattered seeds along the highways and down the country lanes. She flung handfuls of them around the schoolhouse and back of the church. She tossed them into the hollows and along stone walls. Her back didn't hurt her at all anymore. Now, some people called her that old crazy lady because all she was doing was throwing seeds all over the place and being excited about it, I'm sure. There it is. There she is, walking along. Looks like it might be in Maine. Oh, look how pretty. But the next spring, there was lupines everywhere. Fields and hillsides were covered with blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. They bloomed along the highway and down the lanes. Bright patches laid around the schoolhouse and back of the church, down in the hollows, and always then along the stone walls grew the beautiful flowers. Mrs. Rumphious had done the most difficult thing of all. She is going to leave the world a better place, a more beautiful place. It's funny, when I first looked at that, I thought the car was in the ocean, but now I see it's on a bridge. See, it's on a bridge. And see, here's the church and the school and the walls. There's all those beautiful lupines. My great Aunt Alice, Miss Rumphious, is very old now. Her hair is very white, even whiter than Grandma's. Every year, there are more and more lupines. Now they call her the Lupine Lady. Sometimes my friends stand with me outside her gate, curious to see the old lady who planted the fields of lupines. See, there they are waiting for her. When she invites us in, they come very slowly. They think she is the oldest woman in the whole world. Often she tells us stories of faraway places. When I grow up, I tell her I too will go to faraway places and come home to live by the sea. That is all very well, little Alice. Her name is Alice too, says my aunt. But there is a third thing you must do. What is that? I ask. You must do something to make the world more beautiful. All right, I say. What is that? It's hard to know. What do you do to make the world more beautiful? Let's see. Rumphious was good at that. But I do not know yet what that can be. Look at all the lupines on the hills. So fun. The end. And there's a picture of the lupines. It says here that the illustrations for Miss Rumphious were painted in acrylics with accents of Prismacolor pencils on fabric. The art was camera separated and printed in 4 colors. That was very difficult. That's very interesting. And here it is. Here, Mrs. Rumphious. That is a very good book. So we all should try to make the world a more beautiful place. And sometimes we can just do that by being nice to one another and doing what we're asked to do, even when we don't want to do it, and being kind and considerate and loving. But sometimes it is nice to make the world physically more beautiful. And we can do that by just taking care of our yards and things, and our houses look nice, and we can decorate and things. I hope everybody has a great day or night or whatever you're doing, and I love you a lot, and Jesus loves you. Night.